You can go like the, Big Four, MBB, like traditional, management consulting route, because that they've been through, we'll just like generally call it, a training program. So joined on the strategy team for Walmart's previous CTO, projects from, standing up product management and cloud migration. I'm now with Snowflake doing go-to-market strategy. We can go for, traditional management consulting people like that, because at the corporate level, you have 4 people on your team. You don't really have time to like train like a new analyst. You can to some degree, but at that point you have to start walking them through like, okay, here are a ton of frameworks. Memorize these frameworks. Now throw them out. Like, you're never going to use a canned framework again. Like, the point was just to make you have structured thought processes and be able to structure ambiguous problems. And like that's a very hard thing to train into someone, especially if they started, going back to our depth versus breadth conversation. If they started in a pure depth sort of function, it's very hard for people to make that jump. You can say explicitly like memorize this framework. At that point, it becomes not useful because it's inflexible. But like really training that flexibility in is another option. It just takes time. But not sure if you've heard of like the Peter principle. Like people get promoted because they're good at their job, but that doesn't mean they'll necessarily be good at the job that they're being promoted into. So like a lot of people, great operators, like they should probably stop at like, senior analyst, just because they can't be like a manager or think across things. Another thing that you can look at that I found is helpful is looking at people who have spent time in multiple different functions, because even if they haven't had that training, they're just naturally inclined to like learning different aspects of the business. A third one that, I don't think I would have said, probably a few years ago, but I would say like the education sector. There's an organization called Teach for America in the US where you get basically fresh college grads from any degree program, marketing, engineering, chemistry, whatever it is, and they essentially go and they teach high school for like 2 years, then move into industry after that. It's like a pretty refining experience to have to explain something complex to somebody young who doesn't have any background in it. And being able to like think through and reason, and then the patience of like explaining that to like dumb teenagers, because everybody is like dumb at that age. I mean, ultimately it all boils down to like who can have that structured thought process. Like at that point you can solve any problem if you've never heard of it before. If you can think about the drivers and go and learn about it in a structured way, and then go and apply those learnings, like that's what strategy is.